boys. Threw my boss out the window and got fired for my last job. Hot wired a city truck and turned it over in the mayor's yard. Paid my brother-in-law half to death.
There we go. Good
Hey,
morning.
whoa, whoa, hey.
Welcome to the Wade and Carter Show from the South Texas TV studio.
Thank you.
I'm Ash. He's Brent.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
He's the future Speaker of the House.
I've resurrected an
I'm
old
the House
standard.
page.
You're the piss boy. They used to have those in France. The little boy that followed the French around with his bucket.
Yeah, no,
Crazy.
I won't take that job.
No?
No.
Piss boy.
How are you today?
That's
Besides apparently pissy.
better than being the poop pal. That's crazy. You know, you think that some of those folks were so advanced, and they thought they were too. And you go to the Hall of Mirrors in Versailles. It's a magnificent place. You realize it was built with, if not slave labor, religious zealot labor. And you realize that they have these doors that open, and there's a granite slab out there. And that's where people used to go outside and poop. And then they would use effectively a squeegee in a bucket and push it off into the yard. Nice. And they wore the wigs. Remember they had the powdered wigs?
Yep.
Because they had fleas. Because they didn't bathe.
And
they thought they were convinced water was going to make them sick. And this is exactly like it's going to be.
Because it did.
Well, but exactly like it's going to be years from now with, and they wore masks. I thought it helped. What is Junior Sanibel's talking about?
Karaoke night tonight at Lone Star Tavern says it's a throwdown. Be there or be chicken.
I have no time for that.
Here's the funny thing about all that.
Roy QT as the show was flashing before my eyes. Nice.
When Western civilization conquered Egypt, they had running water and irrigation and aqueducts and plumbing.
Yeah, sure.
The
Romans had it.
We set them back. We didn't want that technology. We'd rather dig a hole in the ground and squat over it.
Right. Good morning, Tammy Keeling.
Finally became so advanced, we built 4 walls around it with a door and put a bar across the walls to sit on so you didn't have to squat.
Right.
Yeah. But anyway,
we
digress.
One of my partners yesterday sent me a note and said, I tuned in early. You were shaming Victoria's Secret models. Somebody had to do it. I said, that's nice.
Nice.
Somebody had to do it.
What's the Wade and Carter weather going to do this morning before we get to the roll call? Brought to you by the great folks at AT Deerland Hayfeed and Ranch Services. Stop on by for all you need for your farm, your ranch, your ranchito, your pets, your home. They've got it all garden.
What do you think it is?
I think we're probably going to get high. I bet you we'll be right where we were yesterday, 85-ish.
Yeah. 58 degrees right now under clear skies in Victoria, supposedly, allegedly, heading to a high today of 92 degrees.
Yeah, it was a little mist on the windows this morning.
It was kind of like it was like fog.
There's a little humidity. Greg Garcia checking in. Scott Tomko. Stephen Kidder says great show at the Welder Center last night with Jimmy Vaughn. That would have been awesome.
Oh, I bet that was good.
Yeah, Tammy Keeling, good morning. Christina Wise, Buddy Stavanoa, Justin Glass, Roy Gutierrez, Brent Goen, Randy Langston, Bobby Leister, Scott Snow, the Iceman is in, Diane Tippett, Amanda Smith King, Judge Posey, good morning. Will Vincent, Roy Gutierrez, Stephanie Conti.
Brent Goen's usually fishing on a Friday morning.
Good morning, everybody. Roy Gutierrez says it is foggy out.
Yep. Jimmy Vaughn. So Jimmy Vaughn was with the Fabulous Thunderbirds, right?
Yep.
Stevie Ray Vaughan's brother.
Younger or older? Do we know?
I think he was older than Stevie Ray.
Okay.
Kind of always the little brother, but still a very, very talented. Different type of music.
Jennifer Marr checking in. Will Vincent. Still sort of that Texas blues.
Yeah.
Guitar.
That's
Stevie Ray.
Could that guy play a little bit?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Did you like that in Canada?
I liked Stevie Ray. I was always one of those. I was a poor college student when he was kind of getting big, and he would play smaller places in Calgary, Jubilee Auditorium, small venue, seats about 3,000. Great, kind of like our Fine Arts Center here, but a little bit bigger.
Song for you.
Heather Stewart, good morning. But
See, that's just straight blues right there. 3 chords and the floor.
But I was always, I'll catch him next time when I have a little more money, and then next thing I know, helicopter crashed and there was no more Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Interesting story though. It's you always hear when somebody commits a crime. He was a quiet man, but he was just starting to straighten his life. But when somebody dies early as an artist, that is the case. The guy had a long battle and party time with booze and drugs, and finally met a good woman, had settled down, literally had settled down, and dies in a helicopter crash.
Yeah.
Dead sober.
Getting to another
All
gig.
the things that could have happened to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, sad deal. Trisha Nagel checking in.
Steve Earle is basically Stevie Ray Vaughan as a country artist, I think.
Steve Earle he used to be like this kind of hip Jackson Brown looking guy. Then he got old and fat. It was a fat.
All that substance abuse.
Yep.
Didn't help.
Helped him write
Lisa
a lot of
Poole,
songs.
good morning. Scott Tomko says the Arlington Astros played quite well last night.
We've got quite a Astros update from the
about that.
Minute Maid Field from Arlington, from Minute Maid North. The Astros just took the Texas Rangers to Pound Town last night. I mean,
Jumped on them early. Dunning got the loss, although I don't think he pitched that badly, considering they started off in a 3-0 hole.
they were 3-0 with
But
2
the
outs
fact
in
that
the
the
top of
Rangers
the
tied
first.
it up when Dunning was pitching, and then he gave up the winning runs. That's the
Right.
problem. But their starter did he even get out of the first inning?
No, Bochy came out and pulled his name was Henry
Heaney,
came out and pulled
2/3 of an inning. Gave up the first 3 runs.
How do you think they're going to feel tonight when Justin Verlander gets on the bump at Minute Maid North? I mean, this deal, you talk about the tide has turned.
Yeah.
Jose Altuve was literally 2 inches away from 2 homers. He had a homer, 2 doubles, and a single. Made a stellar play deep in the hole behind second. I don't know if you had the opportunity to watch the game.
I watched part of it.
He made a Derek Jeter type play where he caught the ball, jumped, and threw it. They're calling this season for this individual October Abreu. Jose Abreu, so good at first. I feel so vindicated for sticking up for him early in the season when he was hitting 210.
As you should.
Thank you, sir. I mean that.
But you know what? They did point out when after his IR stint or IL stint, they don't call it the injured reserve anymore. It's no longer the disabled list; it's the injured list.
Right. So stupid.
But with his back, he has been a different hitter, and maybe that was his problem all along. And he's not a guy. He hasn't missed many games for injury over the last 5 years. But what I thought was interesting last night was Yordan Alvarez showed just how fast he can run.
Oh yeah, big man.
Because if he doesn't beat out the back end of that double play, the inning's over.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, he's a hoss.
And they were so worried about giving up the grand slam to him that Dunning maybe kind of let up a little bit on Abreu and just hung a pitch that Abreu just crushed into the second deck.
But do you ever notice how the extremes of it are? Altuve extends on everything, right? His hands are out here. Abreu looks like he's just right in here. It's like he muscles it out. He swings like that.
You notice something
He's an angry man at the plate. He is a mean person at the plate. La Ganga. He's a gangster.
You notice something with Alex Bregman? You see how much he chokes up with 2 strikes?
He's not going to get cheated.
No,
he's going to have a quick
Although
bat.
he did look bad on that one strikeout pitch low that he swung and missed, but man, he just does not do that often.
You know what I
So
liked
when he
about
does,
Alex
it stands
Bregman
out.
is after the game, they interviewed. So you got Derek Jeter, Big Papi, Ortiz. What's his first name? David Ortiz. You don't expect him to be David. Felipe. You know, because he talks like that. Hey, Greg Bregman. Greg Bregman. Greg, we love you here. 7 years. He goes, 7 years we've been doing this game with you. It's true. 7 years.
Yeah.
For the last 7 years, you're a great interview. You're always fun. I know you love Derek Jeter here. Come on, let's take a picture. And Jeter and Bregman was like, sure, man. They posed. Bregman was like a little kid. But to a man, and don't think this is not structured, planned, part of who their public persona has been determined to be, probably by Dusty Baker. Both Altuve after the game and Bregman refused to focus on anything other than tonight's game. They asked Jose Altuve, Jose, how does it feel? Y'all are playing great baseball again. The Astros seem back on track. Are you starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel? Could you see your way back to the World Series again? And they wanted him to give him that soundbite.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we're going back to the big game. No. He said, no, all I can think about is tomorrow night.
Verlander and Jordan Montgomery.
I don't know who Jordan Montgomery is, but I know who Elizabeth Montgomery is, and she didn't have a very good arm.
Boy, does that date you.
Yeah.
Jordan Montgomery went 10-11 on the regular season.
With a 3-2-0. JV is going to roll tonight. Now, don't be surprised if he gets a home run early. I look for him to go 6. 6 innings. Watch this.
4:07 game time.
6 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs. Astros lead 7-3 when he leaves the game. 7-3 Astros when he leaves the game in the 6th. I just got it. It came to me. The Astros Update is always brought to you by the great folks, the friendliest folks, the best friendliest bank in town.
And anywhere around.
First State Bank Louise. Twice I've sent them people. Twice those people were already with the bank.
Nice.
I said, what do you want out of a bank? I want somebody I can talk to. I want somebody friendly. I felt like I wasn't being listened to by my customer service rep. This is corporate stuff, not like mom and pop checkbook.
Montgomery's 2-0 in the postseason.
Well, he's about to.
Did he win game 1?
I don't know. He's about to get beat by JV.
He might have won game 1.
First State Bank Louise. Get by there today. Free checking, free savings. Great way to teach your kids some responsibility.
Yeah, he went 6 1/3, struck out 6, gave up 5 hits, no runs in that game 1 win. So there
Well,
you go.
fine. Let's see what he does tonight.
Speaking of banks that just don't seem to have any clue, you see this flap in Virginia where Wells Fargo Bank, and again, the bank has it was in Tennessee, but the bank has the ability to tell its customers what they want and don't want from their customers, right? As any business. They want their customers at this Wells Fargo in Tennessee to wear masks. Lady walked in, wasn't wearing a mask, decided to get the camera out and do what, and I hate to call them Karens because a good friend of my family is named Karen, and she's so much not like a Karen, it's unbelievable.
Well, there's Karens and there's Daves.
And this
And
woman,
then there's Pats.
and this woman, regardless of her stance, Wells Fargo has the right to do what they wanted to do in this case. Their branch says you're going to wear a mask if you want to bank here. You know what, lady? Go through the drive-thru, pull out all your money, go to another bank.
Amen.
If Wells Fargo in Tennessee is that out of touch with their customer base,
Or with science.
then they deserve
To
what
lose
they're
a
going to
client.
get. But to sit there and videotape it, and the Wells Fargo employee was being very courteous and polite, to be honest.
Well, big corporate. I mean, the law was on her side. I'm not
And
sure
they called,
the bank should have
and I
called the
think
police.
I can't remember who called the police, the bank or the woman. I don't
think
remember
the
which one it
bank did.
was. And I think she was expecting the police to be on her side, and they weren't. Probably angered her more, but just dumb. But we've already proven that the masks don't work because if they did, we would never have had an outbreak of COVID to begin with. Right?
Correct.
So anyway.
So
But,
Patrick Welder points out something I'm looking up. Says
Scott
it looks,
Tomsko says, thank you for pointing out the Astros will win. The Rangers now have a window.
oh, but don't worry, the Rangers will win the series. It says, looks like Dusty Baker was upset that the Rangers didn't uphold their roof closing agreement. Apparently, both programs had said they were going to keep the roof closed. It's almost as if it made the Astros play even better.
Well, you know what? Here's the thing, though. The Rangers don't have anything to do with that. Major League Baseball controls that in the postseason. It's a Major League Baseball decision, not a Texas Rangers decision in the postseason. They haven't played with the roof open there since May.
Why would Major League Baseball so first of all, why would Major League Baseball have any say in that? How does it affect anything?
Television. It's a better picture when the roof's open, I think.
Why?
Because you got blimps up there that can look down into the game.
Fair statement. Is that what they did last night? Were there some blimp views?
I'm sure there were. They had some blimp views at Minute Maid, and boy, that's an exciting shot of traffic going down 59 next to Minute Maid with nothing. You can't see anything going on inside of it.
Right.
So that's probably why they've got these. They've got corporate partners they have to please. Scott Tompkins says, "I'm sure the Rangers wished it was closed now." You know what? I think it might have been. I think if the roof's closed, Altuve's ball gets out of there. The one that was a Jordan hit on a sac fly to the fence, that one gets out of there. I think the ball carries a little bit more when the roof is closed there.
There you go. Mr. Physics.
Yeah. Randy Langston says it'd be nice if you could do that, but banks don't like that and won't give you the cash. They'll digital transfer, and then you got to wait a couple of weeks. Lisa Poole says CDC admitted back in August when Maui was burning that the masks don't work. The mask will not stop the smoke particles from going through a mask.
True story.
But COVID isn't smoke, Lisa. That's what they're going to say. There's my cousin Jarrett checking in. Morning to you, cuz. Should we take a break?
It's free. Allen's Wrecker Service, 578-6300. Reach out to Allen for your next towing
Only
opportunity.
one we ever call.
No reason to call anybody else. There's really not. All the way up to a 75-ton crane.
I don't know if it's the season, if drivers are worse. I've seen more Allen's trucks in the city this last week than I've seen probably in the last month combined. So, and we're only going to we're heading into the crazy season that is the Thanksgiving,
You spend a lot
Christmas.
of time by Ramsey's. The VCS company for all your communication needs.
Yeah, come to think of it, there were a lot of Crown Vics on the back of those trucks.
You're over there by Ramsey's. Every now and then you're going to see an Allen's truck.
A well-preserved Mercury Grand Marquis.
That's the nice one. With the Lavour interior.
And the Brom roof.
And the Broham. With the two-way ranch radio installed in 84 by the VCS companies. That's how long they've been around. Longer than that.
Hey, Big Rig, what's your handle?
10-4. Back off there, Pigpen. Chesnick Furniture for over 100 years downtown. Bobby Leon and his family just quite simply doing it better than anybody else. Go by and see them. Yep. Tell them Wade and Carter sent you. You get a discount. I ain't lying. Tell them I want the Wade and Carter discount. On some
accoutrement.
Nice. You're on top of it this morning.
I'm trying.
Veracruz.
Not easy every
Best
morning.
Mexican food down. It's not best. It's not that easy carrying me every day.
Not every day.
The VCS companies. Chestnut.
Some days much easier than others.
Veracruz. Get by Veracruz today, the best Mexican food in town. Lee and Ida they're family, folks. I love them like brothers and sisters, and you get by there.
Unlike cars off the assembly line, you're not going to get a dud on a Friday.
Man, no chance. And the hot sauce.
Yep.
Now that COVID's over, the way you know it's officially over, the little dishes are back on your
yep.
table. You've got the bottle. It's the way it used to be. It's the way it ought to be.
Not sure how COVID managed to upset that apple cart.
It's the way they did salsa in the Old Testament. In the plastic bottle, speaking the King's English.
With the tip cut bigger so that the chunks of tomato can get through.
Speaking the King's English as they wrote the Bible.
Oh, I'm so glad they didn't interrupt the Astros game last night for Joe Biden's speech.
No kidding. Really? They thought about that, you think?
No, that's why but I listened to a little bit of it and I just couldn't.
Oh, Will Vincent. Crazy drivers in Victoria with Christmas season.
All the time.
It's October.
It's getting there.
You liking my Carter for speaker hat?
It's nice.
It's nice.
Very subtle.
I'm not.
I like how there's no with for speaker. That way, if that doesn't work,
I could be vice president.
it could be something else. Exactly. It's just Carter.
Just me. Just the brand. I don't seek the office, but I'm willing to serve.
You have an NIL deal with yourself.
Right. Paid myself $50, but I did it out of our account, so it only cost you $25.
Oh, nice. Appreciate that.
Yeah. Sure. The accountants say, what is this line item marketing fee? Oh, that's just Carter promoting himself.
Yep.
He got a cheaper deal. This is that logic. I've got one hat that I wear, but I got a cheaper deal by ordering 2 gross. So I've got a whole bunch of them in the garage.
Well, that way the sweat stains never show when you wear it in public.
Right.
You got one for working in the yard, one fancier one.
Sure.
How's that speakership running? How's the grassroots campaign? Are the seeds starting to germinate?
Kind of like ryegrass?
or is it moving more like the matter that was deposited on the granite slab outside Versailles?
The matter.
Just trying to bring it back.
The splatter matter. I'm going to be honest.
Bringing the show full circle.
I think that's the best way to start my tenure as speaker candidate. Nobody called. I kept thinking, I had the phone with me continuously thinking Chip Roy would call. How can I help? Jim Jordan might call. Look, I've got to back McHenry right now, but I'm in your corner. What can you do for Ohio? I mean, that kind of thing. I thought there'd be some bartering, maybe some opportunities for me to discuss some tit for tat, some quid pro quo. I actually thought that the other side, AOC, they might reach out and say, hey, how do you feel about the Green New Deal? Nobody has called. No. But I think that could be, I'm not discouraged. I think it may be building to a consensus, like a unanimous.
Could be. There's a groundswell of support building, yeah.
Right.
Steve Kidder says he is switching his vote to Carter.
Thank you, Steve, and that means the world to me.
And if you were our congressman, that would really mean something.
But if you'd like to reach out to our congressman, it's michael.cloud@house.gov.us.
Or is it .us.gov?
One of those. And you can you imagine?
That's the most confused. This just shows you this is government summed up, right? They were probably at the cutting edge, at the front of the line when it came to handing out
email addresses
and
websites
and domain names.
Yeah.
And the best they could come up with was .gov.us, .house, whatever the heck it is.
It's actually house.us.gov.
But they couldn't have just said, .gov/Congress or something like that. I mean, I don't know.
Send Michael Cloud a quick note and say Carter for speaker. He would definitely, I'll tell you this, he would definitely love it.
He'll laugh.
He would,
nothing else.
What he would do is laugh. But he would love it.
Yeah. Scott
Very
Tomko
excited.
Says,
I just looked over there and
Scott Tomko says with all those leftover mayor signs, just scratch that out and write in speaker.
Yeah, the good thing is, look, Dawn still belongs there, and I still have all the kids. Some people have to Photoshop in a new woman. Yeah. No, I'm gonna keep Dawn. Look how our plant is doing over there, and I'm not being facetious. It is gorgeous. That what do you call that? It's a flower, but is it a stamen? That thing? It's almost 4 feet tall.
Pistil.
Right? And the plant's really thriving.
Yeah.
The reason
you know why though? Is because it's no longer the heat of the summer.
No,
that's what I think. That's why. So that's the longest it's ever been.
No,
it's almost starting to look like that Geico commercial where those plants taking over the house. There's Brett Anderson checking in.
Real quick, tomorrow, meeting around 8:30, 8:45 at
Queen City.
No, it's 1108 East Warren. Boy, my brain. Thank you, Lord. Steel trap. 1108 East Warren. There's a park over there. And if you get there at 8:30.
Rogers Park?
Yes. You get there at 8:30, you'll see people. 1108 East Warren. And it's just it's like the locusts going over the wheat field. They just leave en masse, trailers following down the street. Folks have already been advised in writing. Set your stuff out that you don't want anymore. And whether it's an old window unit that doesn't work, or a refrigerator, or bicycle with no wheels, that stuff will be out by the curb. They're going to load it up. They're going to trim limbs off of roofs. They're going to do all kinds of helpful things. She says arrive, yes, Will Rogers Park, 1108 East Warren, arrive by 11:45, so we're ready to go by 9.
Yeah, they suggest parking in the 2500 block of North Laurent.
Which is just right over
between
here.
Laurent and Park Avenue in Loma Vista. So, that's what you'll need to enter.
So, we did reach out to our friends, and they've been good to us through the years at Lowe's. And with a little grant money from Keep Victoria Beautiful, Christy Euchre, they're going to go by today and pick up a whole bunch of plants so that folks can be handed a potted plant, and said, Lowe's and the city encourage you, water this, love it, transplant it, keep it inside during the winter.
Fire department and fire marshal's office will be putting in, installing smoke detectors in houses that don't have them.
Man, that's nice.
Yeah. Fire department will also be available on site at Will Rogers Park. Flu shots and some wellness screenings as well being done. And compost will be spread out at the park as well.
Maybe Wade and Carter could get the concession on 9-volt batteries. Go over there next, about 6 months. $5. We'll install a new battery in your smoke detector.
Donuts and good coffee from the box, and then Del Papa Distributing, Armstrong Moving and Storage are sponsoring their hot dog cookout afterwards. So
I won't
should
be
take
having
about
any donuts.
It should take a couple of hours. They'll be done.
Oh yeah, you'll be home, but well before noon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Home before noon for sure.
Steve Kidder says, "Can I take my tumbler? Take whatever you want." Steve.
Yep, you can take your tumbler. There's Brent Anderson.
Scott Tomko reminds, poop. We're spreading poop around Victoria.
Right?
Plants on others' porches.
Plants on others' porches. The Poop program brought to you by Wade and Carter way back when. Kind of a springboard to my candidacy for speaker.
It is, very much so.
Really special thanks yesterday to our congressman. That's a bridge you can only cross once. The next time I call him between 7 and 8, there's no chance he answers the phone.
He was hoping to extend his car warranty. Instead, he got you.
Right, he thought. True.
Looks forward to his car. Well, looks forward to spam calls rather than you. So President Biden yesterday pledges what, $100 billion for Ukraine, Israel, Taiwan, and the border. Have you seen
the border? Got $57.38.
Yeah.
Taiwan. Now we're giving money to Taiwan.
Yeah, well, because we haven't pissed enough people off around the world.
Look at Biden. He's starting to look Asian.
Putin hates us.
Putin's weak.
The Middle East hates us.
Putin's a punk.
So let's throw money at Taiwan and have the Chinese hate us even more than they already do.
Did you see what the Jews said yesterday?
I did not. I don't think.
One of the Israeli, they have several people, but war defense guys, he said, let me tell you something. He said, we're making notes of these folks that are backing our enemies, which is consistent with Donald Trump saying those who harbor terrorists will be treated like terrorists. And he said, when we're done with Hamas, and we will win this war, we will let Russia know how we feel about this. He didn't say, if Russia doesn't back off, he said, that's it. I'm telling you people, the Jews don't mess around. Russia better be ready, because I wouldn't be surprised to see the Mossad go over and team up with Ukraine and just wreak havoc on Putin's army, which, by the way, is 90% smoke and mirrors. They're using antiquated weapons. I'm convinced that half of their nuclear silos are full of papier-mâché missiles. We've lived in fear, which is terrorism.
If they would have got rid of all the ones through the SALT and SALT II treaties, then probably don't have many, if any, at all.
Well, don't forget that our missiles are held in air-conditioned, they've got Netflix and everything in our silos. I mean, I've seen videos of them.
And the Merchant of Death was busy selling off every piece of former Soviet equipment that he could.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. So, but, I mean, look at some of this stuff. $14 billion for border security in its new package. $4 billion in supplemental funding to address needs on the U.S.-Mexico border.
Interesting, the U.S. and the state are each still building a border wall.
Yeah.
Funny how Biden was 100% against it. Now he's like, I got enough people in here to vote for me, so I'm going to go ahead and seal it up.
55% of CNN pollsters said that Congress should not pass more funding to aid Ukraine.
What percentage?
55%.
It's getting close
So
to being trouble.
The government doesn't. I mean, the people don't want the government to spend money. Biden is just absolutely out to lunch on this deal again.
Biden's
What were some other things here with some of the spending that they were calling for in his address yesterday? It's some of the money's just crazy. But if you $24.1 billion in aid to Ukraine through the end of this year, folks. That's 3 months. Not even. And we've already found money from Ukraine going back to fund Democratic campaigns.
Folks, just listen to the propaganda machine. I cannot bring myself to feel sorry, excuse me, for Hamas. I don't believe when you're part of the terrorist tribe that you're an innocent victim. I don't. One headline: as desperate Gaza residents run out of food and water, aid trucks back up at the border. Los Angeles Times: we've been set back 100 years. Gaza doctors face heartbreaking choices. Don't start none, won't be none. War is hell. War is about inflicting hell upon your adversary. Don't mess with the Jews.
I heard the other day that the average IQ of residents in Gaza, 67. We consider 75 in this country to be non-functioning.
Right.
Because they don't want their people to know anything. They fed them full of propaganda. This is why the Arab nations don't want them in there. Because the other thing is you can't tell which one's the terrorist and which one isn't.
Yep. I'll throw this in for Will Jost. Mission Valley Elementary Fall Festival this evening, 5:30 to 7:30. Live auction, games, concession. Come on out and support the wonderful community school. You find Will Jost, you'll probably also have a chance that he's got a lottery ticket or some kind of raffle ticket on him.
And if not, his dad will.
Oh, yeah. Get out there. Check him out. Tommy Tickets.
Washington County Circuit Court Judge Andrew Wilkinson found shot to death outside his home yesterday, or with wounds, died at a hospital.
That was in Maryland, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
I don't keep up with the news.
I'm trying to figure out exactly. Trying to see which side of the political spectrum he's on. You know, NBC News isn't reporting.
Probably Republican.
Because he would have had to. He previously worked as assistant county attorney, became associate. So he had to have been elected at some point, right?
Right.
But by them not saying which party he ran under, it's probably Republican.
By the way, you have perfect opportunity to call 894-4020. The phone lines are wide open. Just call and tell why you think I'd be a good Speaker of the House. I know that we agreed. I don't. If you just say, look at me. I mean this. You can just go no, and that's okay, because I know that we agreed on several things. We agreed prior to the program during our intensive pre-show ritual of going through all the world's headlines in a moment and a half. We agreed to wait to discuss?
Let's wait to discuss.
Okay.
Next week.
I wanted to just talk about, since we're not going to do it, I wanted to ask on a Friday if any of our people had to grapple with age-old issues.
Let's do it next week.
Okay. Folks, it was going to be great radio.
It will be great. It'll be even better radio.
What do you mean if we're actually informed?
Yes.
You're saying instead of just going out there willy-nilly?
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
In this case.
Okay. I defer to you, O content master.
So,
You must admit that I acquiesce most often. You must admit that I'd go, okay, if that's the way Ash wants it to go. I mean, I still buy into the myth that you're, somewhat of a
Know what I'm doing?
a radio legend, yeah, and that I'm just here.
no, I just think it needs to wait.
Okay. Astros update brought to you by.
So Jim Jordan says he'll seek a third vote for the House.
I told him to do that.
He will not abandon his bid, but he was thinking of pausing it.
Well, that was after our conversation.
Okay.
But I told him, I said, Jimmy, muck up, son.
Patrick McHenry, by the way, no interest in the position permanently.
Well, he's got that gig as the mascot at Notre Dame. Yeah. Patrick McHenry.
And what is he, Speaker Pro Tem, right?
Yeah.
That's the best gig because there's no
gig.
pressure on you.
And you still get the discount at the congressional cafeteria.
And you've probably got a little bit better office than you might otherwise.
Sure.
You're going to have an extra file cabinet in there.
Sure.
That's so.
I'm just trying to picture Michael Cloud walking into the Cannon building when that protest was going on. And I could just see Michael going, what are all these people doing?
Well, and let's talk a little bit about that yesterday because they've been charged with trespassing.
Which is silly because, look, you can't get in the building without all of you. It's the same deal as an airport. I've been there. Put your keys, your cell phone, whoop, 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 whoop. And then you go. So they had to let 300 people. They had to let them in.
Yeah.
They didn't have appointments. They had no reason to be there. I mean, the government had to let them into the rotunda.
Carrying signs.
Yeah, come on. Why are
It's
you
a
here?
photo op.
I'm with him. I'm with him.
Yeah. Jewish Voices for Peace, I think, was the group behind it, or Jewish Voices for Palestine.
Which there's like 8 of those people. They had to recruit a bunch of homeless folks to go with them.
And it's a front.
Yeah.
I did a little Google searching last night on these folks. Members of this group have worked for organizations in Palestine that the U.S. and other countries have declared as terrorist organizations. This is an arm of Hamas using the word Jewish as a front.
Yeah. Right.
And I bet you there's nobody actually from Israel in there. It's all American Jewish people who've been propagandized by Ivy League schools.
They're all from Virginia.
But it's crazy. And here's the way that the left is parsing it. And you know damn well Rashida Tlaib probably let them in.
Rashida Tlaib still perpetuating the myth
that Hamas blew up the hospital. Yeah.
That the Jews blew up the hospital.
Or yeah, that the Jews did. Yeah.
Still chatting that up, which has just been disproven.
Yeah. But
what do you think she did?
She probably organized it and let him in.
She was
actually seen there.
Pro-Palestinian.
Oh, absolutely. Well, she is Palestinian.
Well, we say that like it's a race. It's not a race.
No, it's a nationality. It's not even really
they don't have a
because
country.
There's no country, so
they're
it can't
just
be a nationality.
Terrorists. Unbelievable.
But how does this not rise? Well, this is how it doesn't rise to the level of insurrection. Well, because there were no official proceedings going on, they weren't disrupting Congress.
There were folks arrested. There were folks resisting arrest. I saw guys squirming on the ground.
They got arrested for trespassing. Big deal.
Yeah.
You couldn't have called back a vote to the House because they couldn't have gotten there. So the fact that anything that might have and could have happened wouldn't have been able to happen, they disrupted the proceedings of the government. Charge them with insurrection.
Dave, there's CP Strauss. I had such an enjoyable visit with Patrick Strauss and Lori at Tickle Pink last week. They were, as always, Patrick Strauss was there donating. You know, he's just a very, very charitable guy. And we just cut up every time we're together. It's just a blast. He's a huge Aggie, great guy. It's always fun to visit with Patrick.
Joe says, Dad's your one-stop shop for all the raffle tickets. Not me.
No, I knew that, Will.
Yeah.
Tommy's the man, but I figured you'd know where to find him.
Scott
I bet you
Tompkins.
Will Jost gets calls. Hey, man, your dad, where's your dad? Has he got any tickets to sell?
And he usually sells winners, too. That's the thing.
Yeah,
he
he
doesn't
does.
just sell you. He doesn't sell you duds. Scott Tompkins says, as a speaker, you'll have to gain control of your co-host, by the way. Not sure what he's referring to.
He will be with me. As speaker, I will require a piss boy. Piss boy!
Not happening.
Palace Bingo, folks, where friends meet friends. Next Tuesday. 4 days.
That's this Tuesday.
5 days. Coming up, the 24th.
We'll be there.
Where friends meet friends. Palace Bingo. It's
gonna be
nothing
fun.
but a good time. What does that go? Don't threaten me with a good time.
Don't do it.
Snap. Somebody said that the other day, and I said, do people still say that?
I don't think so. But you just did. You're bringing it back. Along with your speaker bid, you're bringing back the snap and a Z formation.
Can you imagine making a speech?
Is it a triple snap?
Like Mitch McConnell? Snap, I'm back. Can you imagine Mitch McConnell throwing that out there, like just to look hip to the youngsters? Remember Elizabeth Warren? Hey, honey, I'm having a beer with the American people. Would you like a beer? Shut up, Elizabeth Warren, meathead.
I'm having a beer with my indigenous people.
It's so that's exactly what it was like, Ash. It was so funny because it was a commercial. And they act like nonchalantly. Here comes her husband, just walks in with his back to the camera, and he's like looking in the fridge. And they act like, oh, like this, like you wouldn't go, cut, Mr. Warren, we're doing a commercial here. No, it was staged.
Yeah, so dumb.
So dumb. Palace Bingo next Tuesday night. Be there. Gray Barn today.
You can have a beer at Palace Bingo with the American people if you want.
Absolutely. And get more votes there than Elizabeth Warren. Gray Barn Design, Gray Barn Mercantile, 920-6803. Let Cheryl decorate your life.
My beautiful wife will take care of all your decoration needs, all your home decor needs.
His beautiful life. His beautiful wife, your happy life. Atzenhofer, a South Texas tradition since 1926. Like Pi-Fi and SAE. Atzenhofer, always there.
Why did you sound like Jim Nance there?
I don't know. Hello, friends.
True story, though.
Crazy.
Take care of it all.
Ads are Armor Air, 579-0966. 579-0966. Call Armor Air. Let them help you make certain that when the winter comes, it'll be the winter probably like 25. When it gets here, be ready. Let them clean your coil, check your dryer, de-dust your heat strip. Be careful how you say those things. And today's a great day to get by the chopping block, grab some meat to put on the pit this weekend.
The ribeyes are gone, but they promise they'll have more today. So they will be back in stock of ribeyes.
Ribeye.
They've got chicken thigh poppers, fresh ground beef at just $5 a pound again, still.
Isn't that the rooster chicken thigh power?
Yep. And Wagyu chili grind, as well as all their usual assortments. So that's in the chopping block.
When do you kind of overuse that Wagyu moniker? I mean, so the Wagyu is obviously more marbled meat. If you get a Wagyu ribeye, I'm telling you, you can tell a difference. I don't know if it's 3 times the pound worth of difference, but you can tell a difference.
Is that the one that's massaged?
Yeah, well, and so instead of having, meat, and like a vein of fat through it, which lets you know that it's a healthy animal, it's little bitty veins. It looks like your heart.
Yeah.
Little veins of fat all through it.
But I believe if they could get the beef ribs in, today is Dino Rib Day
Oh, which is fantastic.
at the food truck.
Look
So
at that
stop on
crystal
by.
meth cloud coming out of Bloomington.
Let's get stop on by. Yeah, that is
What do you think that
interesting.
is?
I don't know.
Hamas. Hamas has attacked Bloomington.
Oh, by the way, speaking of which, since October 7th, Hamas has only fired Massimino's 8,000 more rockets into Israel.
Not enough. Mark Kurtz says, let's go back and talk about Elizabeth Montgomery, not Warren. Good point. You didn't think Elizabeth Montgomery was kind of a hottie back in the day?
No, I never said that.
Dink-a-dink-a-dink. Did you ever watch Bewitched?
Watched Bewitch. Got confused as a kid when Darren didn't look like Darren after a while.
Right, one of those guys was gay. That's what's...
No, that was the Brady Bunch.
Oh, that's right, Mike. Now, here's how you knew that was a...
Junior Samples says he bought some from Tommy Jost the other day.
The way you knew that show was full of gras-du was when Mike Brady would come home from his stressful job as a successful architect. The dude's got 6 kids and he drove a Corvette. Bull!
I drove a station wagon too.
Well, that was for the women. Harumph.
Oh man,
What was her name? The blonde-headed lady?
Carol Brady, but drawing a blank on.
And was she cuter than the lady that was in the Partridge Family?
Shirley Jones. They were kind of the same.
They were kind of the same deal,
Yeah,
right?
They were the same.
So
Basically.
wasn't essentially the Partridge Family the Brady Bunch with music?
the Partridge Family was the Brady Bunch with music? Yeah, basically.
Uh-oh, Ralph's in here.
Oh,
Oh, let me see.
we got mail. That's interesting.
Oh.
So Tomko says 15 more minutes. Y'all gonna have to dig deep for a big finish. No.
No. 894-4020. Scott, call and tell us what you think about the Rangers' chances going forward.
What was her name on the Brady Bunch? What was Carol Brady's name? I could see her pushing Wes and Oil.
Yeah.
I don't remember her name.
Oh, good.
Yeah, we're good.
Invoice.
Caught up. I don't know.
Got to pay that rent.
Can't remember her name. Ford announcing additional layoffs, 150 people, bringing the total number of affected workers to 2,730. You know what? Well, let's go back to Israel for a second because something just struck me on this one. At least 30 Americans died in that terror attack.
Right. Florence Henderson.
Thank you. At least 30 Americans died in that terror attack. I call it an act of war because that's what Hamas is. They were elected to represent a people. They claim that they should be a country, so you know what? It's an act of war. Matt Boucher, Jarrett McCurgan, thank you.
Look
all.
who sent
Lisa
us
Poole,
a text
Mike
on
Jones.
that. And thank you for listening, sir. Brett Baldwin says
Brett.
that's
But-
just leadership right there.
Yeah, they're all coming in with Florence Henderson.
Oh, yeah, because they all Googled it up. Nobody knew it 5 minutes ago.
But 30 Americans died in that terror attack on October 7th. And our president called for restraint.
Yeah.
Not once has he called for any retribution, retaliation, or to get to those who were responsible.
Because he's weak, Ash. He's weak.
How many Americans would have to die in such an attack before this administration would even want to take a stand that is strong and would avenge the death of Americans? Because obviously 30 isn't enough. And now he's pledging $100 million to Gaza. Who the hell is Gaza? It's Hamas. Calling it humanitarian aid.
So the Jews are busy tearing it down, and we completely support the Jews, allegedly. But we're already sending over equipment and money to help them rebuild in the Gaza Strip. They let the Jews conquer. Let the Jews build their own stuff over there.
But that's the only solution that this administration ever has to anything. Throw money at it. Throw money at it. But you're going to give $100 million, or you want us to give $100 million to Hamas. Because that's what it is. It's not Gaza. It's not Palestine. It's Hamas. They control it. Because the $20 billion that they've stolen from the world so that so their family members can live in palaces and luxury hotels isn't enough.
No, that's right.
Meanwhile, as I pointed out, their people have an IQ of 67 on average.
It's like Bloomington. Junior Sample, see, I missed an opportunity. I got this, came in on air. Look, I could have done like this. My formerly nicotine-stained fingers, which is not the case. Junior Sample says, you've been served. Scott Tompkins says, is that your notice? You've been selected for nomination to the speakership.
No.
This is from Jim Jordan. Says, stand down. Junior Sample says, it's a jury duty notice.
That's all right. It'll be canceled.
Yeah.
A smoke star. But I've been wanting to talk about that for a while, and it just kind of hit me. But 30 Americans died. Now, listen to the phraseology that they're using in the media on this. No longer are Americans being held hostage. They're being called detainees.
Right.
Hamas isn't kidnapping and holding Americans hostage anymore.
Them.
They're detaining them.
Do you know the difference between a detainee and a hostage? Whether it's your family member or my family member. If it's my family, they're hostages. They're using them so you don't blow up wherever they're being held.
And Joe Biden yesterday was saying that $100 million, he negotiated hard for the $100 million.
Oh yeah,
and it wasn't gonna buy the freedom of any hostages.
Right before he went back to sleep at 9:30.
How hard did he have to work on that? Hey Hamas, how much do you want? 50 million? Not enough. 60 million? Not enough. 100 million? Okay.
Thank you. He negotiated, tough negotiation.
Or did he work down? Hamas, how much you need? 200 million. Not going to do it.
Jack. I'm wheels up.
100 million? Okay. Seriously, how hard do you have to work to pledge our tax dollars to go fund terrorists?
100 billion, wasn't it?
100 million.
That's all?
That's all.
He probably had that.
That's just now.
In 20s on the plane. What did he do? Just go over there and have lunch and come back? Survey the area?
Yeah. Jared McCrugan says a leaked CBC email instructing their people to not refer to Hamas as terrorists.
Wow.
Junior Samples says detainees don't get raped and beaten.
True story.
Killed.
Good pickup there, Junior.
Yeah.
Question to you, Ash. With no regard for the fact that I think we could both agree that while we felt at the time something had to be done, we might have been a little hasty in our response to 9/11. We might have been a little... It worked out fine, right? We're all glad Saddam is gone. But, there were no weapons of mass destruction.
Well, I said it then. It was Junior going to finish Daddy's war.
That's true. So here's my question. Tomorrow, plane hits the new World Trade Center. Mangles it, wouldn't go to the ground. I saw the way it was constructed. Do we attack anybody? Does our country say that's it? Or does our country go?
Not under this leadership. No.
I agree 100%. I agree. I've never asked you that. I agree 100%. Under the current leadership, our country would go, this is not acceptable.
Because who would be behind it? Iran? China probably wouldn't do it, even though they might have funded Iran to build. But Iran would be the one directly you could tie the money to.
Why haven't we just, I'm a quick aside here, why haven't we just whipped their ass and gotten it over with in the past?
I don't know.
We schmoozed around with the Ayatollah.
We tried to play one against the other, and then the other against the one in the Iraq-Iran war. Remember all that?
Oh yeah.
We were buddy with Saddam Hussein.
Iran,
and then we were trying to be buddy with The Iranians.
Iraq is a gnat to Iran. We act like they're the same, Iraq, Iran. No, it's Iran, Iraq.
Yeah, but they all have. Iraq has probably about the same amount of oil reserves in their little in their little dot.
No, that's right.
That's
they just live on a wellhead.
Yeah. How come there were no concerns for the environment back when Saddam Hussein was blowing up all his refineries
Nobody
and pipelines?
cared, right?
Remember?
Nobody cared. Folks, how about a little concern for yourself? Para Vida Wellness.
Yeah.
If you haven't taken our challenge, our request, that you sneak by Para Vida and get healthy, go by there today, grab lunch, $10. Tell them Wade and Carter sent you, $9. Cheaper than Whataburger. Go by there and let Para Vida. Yesterday, Dawn had, believe it or not, a turkey chili.
I had that the other day. It's
It
really good.
was good.
Yep. No beans.
Spicy.
Had a nice kick to
It
it.
wasn't chili with beans.
No.
Why do people think that beans belong in chili? They do if you want to have chili with beans.
It's on the can.
Yeah. Chili, and it's why there's two different kinds, because there's chili and there's chili with beans. People say, oh, well, real chili has beans in it. No, it doesn't.
Depends where you're from.
But if you're from here, where real Mexicans make chili, they don't have beans in it. Unless it's chili with beans. Para Vida Wellness. Get by there. You'll love it.
Talk to them about healthy nutritional plans. They can help guide you to eating better and living healthier.
White Trash Services, 550-1826. We say it every day, but do you listen? In the 6 contiguous counties and our own, and over in Kennedy and Karnes City. If you've got a small business and you want dumpster service, reliable, steady, fairly priced dumpster service, call White Trash Services at 550-1826. They'll come on the day they say they will. You can meet them out there and throw that extra thing in the truck. They'll put the dumpster back and roll on. USA Concrete Coating, photos to follow.
Junior Samples posted a video yesterday and absolutely pleased with the end result of what they did. They grinded it, polished it, coated it. Looks amazing.
And what I like is that, so it was a big job.
It's au naturel.
It was a big job.
Yeah.
So there were some challenges. Hey, we're going to come back because this concrete's harder than we thought. We're going to fix that because there's a couple spots there that I'm not happy with. And Junior said, what are you talking about? And they said, right there. I don't like the way that looks. We're going to fix that. So they did. There were some spots where they ran out of go juice. The sealant. They came back, finished it all. Junior's place is going to be gorgeous. I tell you what's going to happen. And Junior, thank you so much for volunteering. It's fantastic. We're going to have a Wade and Carter get-together at Junior's new home. Linda doesn't know this yet.
Junior doesn't. Junior's just finding out.
I am volunteering. Junior and Linda Christ, beautiful property out in
It would be
nursery.
It would be the place to have it.
We're going to have
their shop alone could handle it.
Oh, we're going to have a bonfire. I'm going to get some live music. Brother Gary will make a stop by. It's going to be fantastic. Come home to, what's it called? The Last Resort.
Rob and Linda's Last Resort.
There you go.
Backup generator there as well, I think, by
No doubt.
courtesy of Wentz Services.
Wentz Services. Turnkey generator service. Propane, no problem. Natural gas, no problem.
If we just had a home builder as a sponsor, Junior would have used pretty much every one of our
Oh, he used them all. He used his
sponsors.
money from Palace Bingo to pay for the flooring.
White Trash provides us trash service.
Folks, it's that time of the day.
Pretty much.
Brother G, I hope you have a good, safe weekend. Travel safely. Well,
Junior says the only reason we would not go after somebody is because China and Russia would step in. I don't know that. I don't know
just
that
don't
Russia
think
would.
Russia's really got anything left. I think Russia's just the big bluff, and Putin allows them to flex.
And
I
I'm
don't
not-
think they're that big a
and
deal.
I'm not sure China carries the big stick to go with their bravado.
Well, and they don't really go out. When was the last time China attacked anybody?
Japan in the 40s,
15,
World War II,
15, 20,
somewhere in there. It's been a while.
right? Junior says, bring it on. I'd love that. Once again, Linda, no clue. All right, folks.
Well, there's our music.
We love you.
You know what that means. Time for the weekend. Hope you all have a great one.
Have a great weekend, folks. See you on Monday.
Bye, folks.
Bye.
Well, I've been kicked out of my near every bar around.